Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're here, you're probably knee-deep in setting up your company's IT infrastructure, and you know how intense that can get. In our last few videos, we have tackled some pretty powerful tools and tricks, like setting up remote desktop with FSLogix, installing Office with shared licensing, and using PowerShell to create dynamic security groups in Active Directory. We've even set things up so that Office automatically changes display languages based on the user's preferred language, whether they are on a remote desktop or on their local machine. It's all about giving your user a seamless and personalized experience. In our most recent video, we went even further and connected your on-premise Active Directory to Entra ID. We set things up so that users get automatically assigned Microsoft 365 licenses based on their security groups, and we enabled group policies so users can just log in to Windows once and no more repeated sign-ins when they open Word, Excel or Outlook. That's convenient, right? Oh, and now users can even reset their own passwords if they forgot, and the preferred language setting syncs with Entra ID too. So when they go to portal.office.com, they'll see everything in their language of choice. Nice touch, right? Alright, now it's time to level up even more. Today we're going to make life even easier for our users who are working remotely by leveraging that sync we've just set up. Here's the deal. On-premise Active Directory is great, but it requires a direct connection to your network, either through a local connection or a VPN. That's not always ideal for remote users. So today we're moving some of those configurations over to Intune, so devices only need an internet connection to receive policies, applications and updates. How awesome is that? Before we dive in, let's make sure we've got our ducks in a row. Here's what you'll need to follow along. Working Active Directory, some basic knowledge of group policies, a sync with Entra ID, and finally an Intune license. I'm using a Microsoft Business Premium license, which I highly recommend because it's loaded with useful tools like Microsoft Office, Exchange, Intune, Entra ID P1, which is great for things like Azure multi-factor authentication, something we will dive in the future videos, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Let's create an autopilot profile to make device setup easier. First, head over to the Azure portal and create a group called Security Group Autopilot Devices. Set a membership to dynamic device and then use this rule. This ensures any autopilot devices are automatically added to the group. Next, set up the autopilot deployment profile in Intune. Go to Microsoft Intune, then Windows Enrollment, and click Deployment Profiles. Click Create Profile and choose Windows PC. Set the name of the profile to something like Autopilot and set Convert all targeted devices to Autopilot to Yes. Set deployment mode to User Driven. Join to Azure AD as Azure AD joined. For user account type, select Standard. You can also configure optional settings like a device name template if your organization has specific naming conventions. Finally, assign a profile to all devices to ensure every new device is automatically converted to an autopilot device. Take note that the conversion process can take up to 48 hours. If you want to speed things up, you can use the get Windows Autopilot info -online script to upload the hardware hash directly to Intune. Now, let's migrate your existing group policies to Intune. First, export your group policies, open the Group Policy Management console, right-click on the policy you want to migrate and click Save Report. Save it as an XML file. Next, import the XML file into Intune. In Intune, navigate to Group Policy Analytics, upload the XML file you just exported. Intune will analyze the file and let you know which settings are supported. Then click Migrate to create an equivalent Intune policy. Once you've migrated the policy, assign it to the Security Grouped Autopilot Devices group. Consider creating an additional policies to enhance the user experience, such as enabling Microsoft Edge to sync bookmarks and passwords or setting up automatic backups with OneDrive. Now let's make sure your users have access to the apps they need. Start by adding the company portal app. Go to Intune, then Apps, and click Add. Select the Microsoft Store app New and search for the company portal. Under User Assignments, set the app as required for all users or a specific group. And repeat this process for other Essentials apps, like Microsoft Office and Microsoft Edge. For apps that users may choose to install later, mark them as available for enrolled devices. This way, they'll show up in the company portal and users can select them when needed. When you're ready to transition users to Entra ID devices, here's what you need to do. First, take inventory of all the installed applications and ensure they are available in Intune. Next, backup user data using OneDrive. Make sure to save documents, desktops, and pictures. And for browser data, import the bookmarks and settings into Microsoft Edge and enable syncing. Now let's talk about how to gather the hardware information you'll need to register devices in Intune using the Get Windows Autopilot Info PowerShell script. Once you've installed the script, there are two ways to use it. First, let's look at how to register a single device and upload its information directly to Intune. Open PowerShell as an administrator. Run the following command to install the script. The script will now be installed in the default PowerShell directory. Use this command to navigate to that directory. This command will collect the device hardware hash and upload it to Intune using your authenticated session. This is quick and works great when you're setting up devices one at a time. Now, if you are managing multiple devices and want to automate the process, here's the second option. You can use a get AD computer commandlet to retrieve a list of devices from Active Directory and pipe that into the Get Windows Autopilot info script. Here's a command that you will use. This will collect the hardware hashes of all devices in your Active Directory and export the information to a CSV file called mycomputers.csv. But keep in mind, to use this method, certain configurations are required on your network. Specifically, you'll need to activate the following firewall rules on the target device: Windows Management Instrumentation and Windows Remote Management. This bulk method is ideal when preparing multiple devices for autopilot registration. However, it does require some additional setup and elevated permissions, so make sure your environment is properly configured before proceeding. In this video, we're focusing on the single device method with Windows Autopilot Info-Online. But if you're working in a larger environment, the bulk method using Get AD computer and a CSV export can save you a lot of time. To assign a specific user to an autopilot device, you can go to Devices, Windows, Enrollment, Devices, and select the device you want to assign the user. Select and don't forget to save, and you can even give the device a name. Here's what the user will experience during the first boot of their new device. They'll connect to the internet, either via Ethernet or by configuring Wi-Fi, and the device will prompt them to sign in with their work account. They'll set up Windows Hello for added security, like a PIN, fingerprint or facial recognition. And once the setup is complete, all the required apps and policies will install automatically. If you've set up Cloud Kerberos Trust, users will still be able to access on-premise resources like file shares and even from a remote location. However, they still need a VPN. By following these steps, you've successfully transitioned from an on-premise Active Directory setup to an Entra joint device managed by Intune. This setup gives you remote work flexibility, enhanced security, and streamlined user experience. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what topics you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.